Let's talk about what we're making tonight. This is an old recipe.
Right.
Now, we have got this problem about when we travel and go neat places, we always check out the food culture.
Yeah.
Now, way back when I started being friends with Raoul Dupree, the most amazing man in the world, I must say, French chef who took me under his wing, taught me all kinds of secrets and sauces and French cooking. He told me to pay attention to wherever I went to look at the food, and you'll always learn something. You can, you know, we've had Greek folks on. You remember Maria? Maria Bell?
Love her, yeah, I love her fish recipe.
Everybody we talk to, everything's gone to food now.
Right.
Because this is what we do for a living. But we've recently traveled to Germany, Austria, Hungary, the Czech Republic, so on and so forth. And it was all about the food. Now, their history goes way back.
Right.
You know, the United States is a couple hundred years. You know, you go around a turn in the river, there's a castle up on the hill, and that's where Richard the Lionheart was kept for a ransom until they paid a bunch of silver to turn him loose. So we got there and we immersed ourselves in the food culture because a lot of what happened there came here.
Right.
Everybody in the United States is from somewhere else. And recently we did a story on the German influence on northern Kentucky and Cincinnati. Well, here we were in Germany and in Austria, and every restaurant we ate at was just fantastic.
Oh, and the coffee was wonderful, amazing, compared to ours.
It was
Cream or something,
wonderful.
every one of them was wonderful.
So we paid attention to the food. We wanted to bring you home some things that we learned.
Right.
And so let's talk about strudel, apple strudel. Now, this is something everybody's fixed or fixed something like it. The combination of ingredients in this are something that are very widely used in kitchens today. But that old influence. Now, this recipe goes back to the 1700s, but there are actually older than that recipes that were, you know, from 1300. This particular recipe you're going to do tonight was 1600s.
Right.
It's one of the best things we have ever put in our mouth, and simple. Now, we watched somebody demonstrate cooking it. They actually take all these ingredients and they roll it up on a piece of cloth and roll it into shape.
How smart. And they put vinegar and stuff.
That makes the dough more pliable.
And they rolled it and it was amazing. I learned some stuff. Yeah.
So we're going to do that tonight. Now we're going to get our dessert started first. Trust me on this. Nothing we're doing is hooty-tooty or fancy-smancy. It's just absolutely home cooking by folks who did this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
I didn't realize how simple they were.
Simple and delicious.
Yeah.
But you know, you go over there, the food culture is so in-depth. The pork. We ate along the river there under the castle in Český Krumlov.
Right.
And we got these little pork medallions. You got the fish. It was absolutely some of the best food we've ever had.
And we got entertained by music. Always had the music playing around us.
All the time, everywhere. And puppets, marionettes everywhere.
Yes.
One followed us home. It's pretty scary.
It's your favorite one, isn't it?
Pretty scary. But anyhow, let's make the strudel. Later on, this is interesting. I was in the store and I was shopping, and a woman came up and said, "We watch every show." She said, "What's going to be on next week?" I said, "Well, I'm getting ingredients right now." And I said, "Wiener Schnitzel." And I said, "Do you know what that is?" And I've even asked this question to people who are foodies.
I didn't know what it was.
They think it's a brat or some kind of sausage. Think the best chicken fried steak you've ever had. Now these old things, I'm gonna tell you more about this later. It's fried in lard. Think chicken fried steak.
That's right.
We'll go there later, but let's get the strudel started. Okay, this particular recipe is from a handwritten recipe from the 1600s.
And I'm following it exact.
Exactly.
I have my little recipe right here.
All right.
And what we're going to do first is we're going to get warm water. It's got to be about 80 degrees at least, but a 1/4 cup of water and 1½ tablespoons extra, 1 3/4 tablespoons of sunflower oil, which I haven't used before. I like that. 1/2 teaspoon of vinegar, 1/8 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to stir all this together. And 1 cup to start of flour, and then 2½ tablespoons. And we're going to use that, and that's going to be our dough we're going to make. And I'm just going to keep stirring this until I have to use my hands. I can't stir anymore.
This was popular during the Habsburg era. All the fancy schmancies in Vienna loved this recipe.
This was good. We had some of this
It's
there.
delicious. It's probably one of the best things I've had in a while, dessert-wise.
And it's so simple. All right, I'm going to go ahead and knead this for probably 10 minutes. Then I'm going to put oil all over it, put it in the bowl, cover it with some wrap, and let it sit for 1 hour.
Gotcha.
And if we need to, you can make this ahead of time, it says on the directions, and let it sit for 2 to 3 days. And just bring it out to room temperature.
Let it get room temperature?
Yeah. All right, now we're just going to use a little flour. And I've never done my dough like this before. You just do it on, how smart, on a cloth.
Yeah.
On a cloth, I like it. We're going to roll this out as thin as we can.
They really did too. They rolled it out and rolled it out and rolled it out and rolled it out.
I did.
So keep that in mind.
So we have the dough. Now we're going to make our filling for inside. So we're going to take half a cup of sugar, a quarter cup of, it says walnuts, but we use pecans. We're going to chop those up, and I chopped them up already in my little chopper. Then we're going to do a third a cup of raisins, a half a teaspoon of lemon zest.
Now, I'm not harping on anything, but if you're going to use lemon zest, really wash your lemon good, or get organic if you can.
A teaspoon of cinnamon, and then 2 or 3 Granny Smith apples. I got 3 apples. We're going to cut those, and then I'm going to chop those up in my chopper too.
Now, again, if you hear a funny noise in the background, somebody talking or whistling, is our African Grey, and she's rolling tonight.
Pandora.
Yeah.
She's precious. All right, I'm going to do my apples.
Here's your melted butter.
Thank you. 2 tablespoons. And you could do a brush, but I'm just gonna use the same spoon I used to stir everything.
It's all going in the same place.
That's right. And now we need some breadcrumbs. Why do you think they do this?
I'm not sure if it's for texture. I'm not asking questions,
Okay.
because it's been around longer than me, about a couple of years.
And now we're gonna go ahead and just put our mixture in there.
All right, now the interesting thing about this is they let the towel or the piece of cloth, they had like a sheet, do the rolling. So basically you lift the cloth and let it roll itself. How about that?
They actually just rolled it on the pan too, I think, like this. You want me to do that?
You can. Let the cloth do the work for you. Oven is at 350.
For 30 minutes.
30 minutes and you're good to go. If you want to put a little butter on top to brown that, or it wouldn't hurt anything with it.
No,